What if I told you that Lewis Hamilton has just abandoned everything that made him a 7-time world champion, that Ferrari's engineers are speechless after his latest demand, and that what happens under the lights of Singapore this weekend could either resurrect Ferrari's season or expose every weakness they've been hiding? Because Hamilton's strategy for the Singapore Grand Prix isn't just different, it's a complete rejection of everything Ferrari has done this season. And the timing of this bombshell, just as Ferrari have slipped behind Mercedes in the championship, makes it even more explosive. Let's be clear about where Ferrari are right now. The SF25 was supposed to be their redemption. In simulations, it promised so much. On track, consistent disappointment, race after race. Singapore's practice sessions laid bare the brutal reality. In FP1, Hamilton and Leclerc found some rhythm through the opening sectors. They looked comfortable. They looked like they could at least hold their ground. Then, FP2 arrived, and reality came crashing down. The twisty technical demands of Sector 3 exposed the SF25's flaws mercilessly. Rear instability, weak traction, nervous braking that robbed Hamilton of tenths every single lap. On the timesheets, Ferrari were left over 3/10 adrift of McLaren. But here's the part that should terrify the Tifosi. They were nearly 7/10 slower than their own 2024 performance at this track. While their rivals have found speed, Ferrari have gone backwards. And now they're behind Mercedes in the constructors' standings, with McLaren charging ahead and Red Bull clawing their way back. The humiliation of Baku, where both drivers scrapped for scraps while Carlos Sainz, the driver they let go, celebrated a podium with Williams, still stings. Into this crisis steps Hamilton, not with promises about 2026, not with empty words about the future, but with a strategy so aggressive, so radical, that it's left Ferrari's engineers stunned. But here's what makes this truly explosive. Hamilton isn't just changing how he drives, he's demanding that Ferrari rewrite their entire approach to this Grand Prix. And what he's asking them to do goes against every instinct this team has shown all season. Stay with me, because what comes next explains why this weekend could define Ferrari's entire season. Hamilton's plan is simple to say, but incredibly difficult to execute. Brake later, push harder, and inject a level of aggression into Ferrari's weekend that the team has been too cautious to embrace. For a driver who built his legacy on control and precision, this choice to gamble everything on pure aggression is both thrilling and dangerous. Because Singapore isn't an ordinary circuit. Marina Bay is a labyrinth of 23 corners where overtaking is almost impossible, where qualifying dictates fate and any misstep is punished by unforgiving walls. In this environment, drivers normally focus on preservation, careful management, flawless execution. But Hamilton is turning that philosophy completely on its head. Here's his calculation. Ferrari cannot rely on raw speed to beat McLaren or Red Bull. Strategy alone won't rescue them. So Hamilton is taking the fight into his own hands by attacking braking zones with fearless commitment. He's hunting for time in the only places Ferrari are truly lacking, the slow technical corners where confidence is king. The problem? Hamilton has struggled with Ferrari's Brembo brake package all season. After years of driving with Mercedes' carbon industry system, he's lacked that instant response, that trust to dive deep into braking zones the way he once did. Too often, the car feels unsettled. But Singapore, with its 23 corners and endless stop-start sequences, is a playground for braking mastery. And Hamilton has decided, the only way to find the missing time is to change his approach completely. He'll brake later, push harder, take risks in places where others lift. It's a gamble with the walls of Marina Bay waiting to punish the slightest mistake, but Hamilton insists this is the only way Ferrari can survive the fight. Now, Ferrari's engineers face an impossible choice. Do they build the car around Hamilton's aggressive demands, even if it costs them speed on the straights? Or do they stick with their cautious approach and watch another weekend slip away? Because what Hamilton is asking for requires them to completely rethink their setup. And here's why that's so significant. Ferrari's engineers are now scrambling. The FP2 data proves Sector 3 is their undoing, and Hamilton's aggressive braking philosophy means they must rethink everything. A stiffer rear suspension could provide the stability he needs, even if it sacrifices straight-line speed. Aero balance adjustments could shift grip forward, helping him throw the car into corners without fear of it snapping out. This isn't a setup built for compromise. It's one tailored for a driver who has decided that if Ferrari won't give him the car he needs, he'll force them to adapt to his will. After months of frustration, Hamilton is imposing himself on Maranello, and the team are listening. But there's another element that makes this strategy even more compelling: Singapore's brutal conditions. Cockpit temperatures soar above 60 degrees Celsius. Sweat drains every ounce of concentration. For nearly 2 hours, drivers balance on the edge of exhaustion and precision. The track is unforgiving. Every corner lined by concrete walls, every lapse punished instantly. For Hamilton, this isn't a deterrent, it's an opportunity. He has 4 victories here already, and he knows that in chaos, experience is gold. And chaos is never far away in Singapore. Safety cars are almost guaranteed. Rain is a constant threat. Strategy can flip on a single lap. This is where Hamilton's approach connects perfectly with a crucial detail. The FIA has raised the pit lane speed limit from 60 to 80 kilometers per hour. Suddenly, pit stops cost less time. Two-stop strategies become viable. Flexibility is rewarded. Ferrari, so often guilty of hesitation and slow calls, will face their sternest test yet. Hamilton has made it clear. He wants aggression not just in his driving, but in Ferrari's strategy. He wants them to trust instinct, to react in seconds, to gamble when the moment demands it. But here's the question that will define this weekend. Can Ferrari match Hamilton's courage? One mistimed strategy call could destroy his race, but the right one could vault him into contention for the podium that has eluded him in red. The data from FP2 shows Ferrari ranked well in sectors 1 and 2, but that deficit in Sector 3 leaves them vulnerable to Aston Martin and even Racing Bulls. McLaren and Mercedes are clearly stronger overall, but Singapore has a way of tearing up predictions. If Hamilton's plan works, if he can brake later and fight harder, the SF25 might just punch above its weight in the parts of the track where it's been weakest. That wouldn't just change the story of this weekend, it could redefine Ferrari's approach for the remainder of the season. Because what this bombshell really represents is Hamilton's refusal to accept mediocrity. He came to Ferrari not to be another name in their history books, but to write a new chapter of triumph. His strategy isn't just about lap time, it's about mentality. It's Hamilton demanding that Ferrari stop playing safe, stop hiding behind excuses, start daring to risk everything in pursuit of results. The Tifosi have longed for this fire. Now they have it. Under the floodlights of Marina Bay, with suffocating heat, relentless humidity, and near-certain safety cars, Hamilton is ready to gamble everything. The question is, will Ferrari have the courage to gamble with him? Because if they do, this could be the weekend that changes everything. And if they don't, it could expose the fundamental problem that's haunted them all season. They're not brave enough to win. What's your take? Can Hamilton's aggressive strategy work with Ferrari's cautious DNA? Or is this weekend heading for disaster? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to see how this gamble plays out, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because Singapore Under the Lights is about to get very interesting.